Welcome to the Monday Kickoff, everyone. Hope you guys are having an amazing start of the week. Oh boy, we are in for a surprise in Raid Shadow Legends today, guys. We actually have a brand new collaboration with HeMan. My god, this is something that I was not really expecting whatsoever. Now, as usual, in today's video, guys, we're gonna have a full breakdown of all of the events and everything else coming to Raid Shadow Legends this week. At least what we know so far. And I am doing this video much earlier than usual because, my god, free 7-day login champion, the Skeletor Chase right here. Look at that, guys. I've been a kid when I was watching this this show, right? And I can barely remember it. It's kind of like I don't know, like a distant memory, you know. Very crazy to see them in Raid Shadow Legends. So this is the 7-day login champion. I'll be honest with you guys, just starting straight off the back, I'm really not impressed with this champion whatsoever. But leaving all that on the side, we're gonna get into the kit in a second. Then we have a champion pass. Now, this is the second time when we are getting a champion pass in Raid Shadow Legends. We had one with Xena before. So in order to get his champion, either you get lucky and summon him on a 15x or 10x or whatever events they might be doing. Either you purchase this pack right here. 39 to get a champion and a 5-star chicken. To start with, of course, you're going to be able to collect all of the rewards all the way up to level 24, or 59 to instantly get the champion. Now, because I'm a degenerate and I'm trying to do a guide on this champion to show it to you guys if it's worth it or not, to even buy the pass, I will definitely drop a video on this champion later today. So this is what we're getting from the champion pass. 6-star speed glyphs, yes, I'm taking that in with no second thoughts. And we're getting a few pieces of gear. Nothing crazy, to be honest, in terms of rewards from here. It is better than last time. I feel like last time was really weak sauce in terms of rewards, so this definitely looks better. In terms of challenges, you pretty much still have the same easy crap to do, right? Nothing interesting here. These challenges are very weak sauce. I know we complained about them last time, like they haven't really made it interesting whatsoever. I guess they've made them super casual, so everybody who buys this, no matter how they're playing the game, they will be able to collect the final reward. At least that's kind of like what I'm assuming. This is the start of the fusion as well, guys. Today, my bad. So we're going to have the fusion starting today. Probably we're going to have tons of events. Now, at the moment in the calendar right here, we're not really able to see much, right? They haven't really activated any of the actual events. Now, we do have the Stoke Broken Fragment event showing being displayed right here. But as I mentioned, we don't have the other events. But we have the fusion calendar, so we know exactly what to expect from it. I've actually made a different video yesterday. Before we dive into the kits, I just want to give you guys a full reminder. Check the clan quests. Make sure you've completed pretty much everything that you have in there. If you gotta purchase anything from the clan shop, jump on it and do it. This week, I will actually skip the silver. I had to buy the chaos ores, right? And I feel like I'm getting pretty low on gold, clan gold, and I just don't wanna get broke. So I can purchase the chaos ores next time when they drop in, if by any chance they drop this week. And yeah, who knows what RNG we're going to have in there. Then, of course, check out the Bazaar for the Tag Team Arena. Seems like we have some juicy energy in here, which we're definitely going to pick up once the fusion starts. We have the Void Shard, which, yes, we are going to pick that up because the Sacred Shard still has a bit of a waiting room right there, 3 days. And that's pretty much all. I was expecting to see a Prism Crystal event for Vulcanos. Seems like that is not the case, or it might start tomorrow. If that's not the case, maybe we're going to have some Jewel Crystal event starting tomorrow. One or the other, to be honest with you guys. And other than that, we don't really expect anything too crazy. Now, it is almost the end of November, guys, which means that the new patch, the new clan boss, is slowly creeping in the game. So most likely the new patch will drop next week. That's my take on it. Next week. Now, next week, I'm actually going to Romania next week for a few days. So I'm convinced the patch is going to drop when I'm away. That's how it usually happens. so I can miss all of the fun at the beginning, basically, right? So, yes. Leaving that on the side, let's check the champions quick, guys. So we have the free 7-day login champion, which is a Knight Revenant Skeletor. As I mentioned, he seems pretty weak. Spirit Affinity, support champion. The base stats are not bad, but his kit is pretty weak sauce. Honestly, I think he's one of the weakest 7-day login champions we've ever got in Raid Shadow Legends. Together with, what's his name, Alexander, or whatever is the high elf one. I feel like them two are the weakest. So attacks one enemy 2 times, has a chance of increasing the duration of a random debuff on the target by 1 turn. Then attacks one enemy. This will be on a 3-turn cooldown fully booked. Has a chance of placing petrification debuff on the target for 1 turn. If the target is a boss, places a decreased attack debuff and a 30% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns instead. Now this is not a bad skill, but it's on a single target. If he's a boss, decrease attack, decrease speed is nice, is helpful in most cases. But to be honest, nothing really sounds like, oh my god, an epic champion cannot do it, right? Whenever a petrification debuff is removed or expires on an enemy, has a 50% chance to place a 30% decrease debuff on the enemy for 1 turn. So that's pretty much all, guys, right? Petrification can be nice. They're not really going to take a lot of damage unless you're landing bombs on them. And yeah, that's about it. That's about it. Nothing too special. Then you have the A3. Places an increased accuracy buff on all allies. Fully booked on a 3-turn cooldown. Also has a chance to steal any block debuffs buffs and 1 random buff from each enemy. Now that's the best part in his kit. Stealing the immunity from the enemies and then a random buff. Then decreases all enemies' turn meter by 15%. If an enemy is from the Tellurian League, decreases that enemy's turn meter by 30% instead. That's it pretty much. That's his kit, guys. Not impressed whatsoever. He's a free 7-day login champion. He requires exactly 4, 9, 13 legendary books. Okay, so keep that in mind because it can be a pretty big bait for a lot of players, right? Then you have the passive. Whenever this champion attempts to place a debuff, steal a buff, decreases an enemy's turn meter, or increases the duration of a debuff on an enemy, increases this champion's accuracy by 20 for each buff on that enemy. Whenever this champion is hit, has a 40% chance to place a 50% decreased resistance on the attacker for 1 turn. The chance increases to 75% against champions from the Tellurian League. So, as I mentioned, I'm really not impressed with the champion all around. It can be helpful progression-wise in some situations. It won't really be a game changer for any account regardless where you are playing. Now, a lot of people might be investing in him just because of the nostalgia, right? And all of the good old memories. But that's pretty much about it in terms of this champion, guys. Now, thankfully, I do want to give big props because I like the way they are doing the 7-day login champions nowadays, where you have 2 phases to it. You can collect the soul, and I'm 100% a big fan of this idea. I hope they will continue to do them like this forever. Then we have the HeMan, and he is an attack-based champion from the Sacred Order. Now he does have a much better kit. One thing to keep in mind, if you're gonna summon multiple copies, most likely you cannot empower him with his dupe. You're gonna need a different champion to empower him, and judging on what we're seeing in this faction, most likely is gonna have to be Astrolon or Holzring who will empower him. I don't think will be Hansel, because Hansel is the new champion added to the game, but it can be the case. So I cannot really tell you that because I don't have the champion available on my account at the moment. And when I'm gonna do a guide on him, I'm gonna basically try to provide you with all of that information, including multipliers and all the rest of the things. So attack-based champion, magic affinity, pretty good base stats. His attack is not too crazy, but the speed is nice, the HP is good, and the skill set is nice too. So let me just start with the speed. Aura, 28% in arena. I'm a fan of that. Then the A1. Attacks one enemy, places an extra hit on enemies from the Corrupted. So that will make him a good counter to Rotos or other champions from the Corrupted Alliance. Also fills this champion's turn meter by 10%. Fills their turn meter by an additional 2% for each buff on this champion. Now, one thing that is very interesting is that his damage is based on attack and HP. So is he going to be the next type of Rotos? Because so far we don't really have anyone that's as similar as Rotos. Yes, you have Nice, but it's not really the same cup of tea. So very curious to see those multipliers. Then we have the A2, Luminous Cleave, on a 4-turn cooldown, fully booked. Attacks one enemy. Before attacking, places an increased attack buff on this champion for 2 turns. Will ignore Stone Skin buffs. If this attack kills an enemy, fills the turn meter of all allies by 30%. Damage based on attack and HP. So I'm actually a fan of ignore Stone Skin, right? Now, he doesn't ignore defense, he doesn't ignore strengthen, shield, etc. So if he doesn't have crazy multipliers, this skill won't perform very good. Then the A3, I have the power. Indeed, he has the power because this sounds like a broken skill. 3-turn cooldown, fully booked, attacks all enemies. The damage inflicted by this skill increases by 10% for each buff placed on this champion before this skill is used, stacking up to 500%. So you can basically just buff, and then use the skill and get an insane amount of damage. Now, the thing is, from experience, I'm telling you this, usually when a champion has some crazy multiplier stacking like this, the actual multipliers suck. So this might be the case, or it might not be the case. We're definitely going to have to look at the multipliers, or maybe try him out and see what we can expect from this skill. It can be very nice, right? Xena is not a bad champion. She doesn't hit extremely hard, but she is a pretty decent champion. She does have her role in the game. She can counter specific champions. So very curious to see what's this guy's full potential on this skill. The passive increases this champion's attack and HP by 5% for each buff placed on this champion, stacking up to 50%. Then we'll place a strengthen buff on this champion for 2 turns at the start of each round. Also places a 25% strengthen buff on this champion for 2 turns whenever an enemy's HP drops below 50% after this champion's attack. And he is immune to petrification. So Arbais, you have, of course, Mitrala, you have the new champion. So this, again, is increasing his damage because it is increasing the HP and attack. So seeing all of these multipliers just increasing, makes me think that his initial multipliers are not great. And he's meant to be played around for a long period of time in the fight. So you're basically just stacking all of these things on him before he pops off. But I might be wrong. Maybe the multipliers will be looking funky. I'm still waiting for somebody to take them out of the game and share them with me so I can actually share them with you guys as well. But either way, that's what we have in the game, guys. Came in as a complete surprise. We had no idea what they are planning. They haven't actually announced it. And there we go. The summoning pool just started, guys. You can always count on Skratch to tell you what's going to come, at least to an extent, because I had no idea about HeMan, right? We had a feeling that something was coming. We've covered it in Ash's video the other day, but I was not sure what to expect. So this is the new summoning pool. Vulcanos, as expected. 40 Prism Crystals for a summon, guys. And that being said, most likely we're going to have more events. Let me see if I can actually refresh this and see if we have anything. Okay. So we just have the Infernal Summoning Pool. It seems like the game is not showing us if we're going to have... most likely... okay. It's not displayed just yet. The Sand Devils Necropolis tournament, right? Most likely we're going to have one. We have the Champion Training starting, the Fire Knight tournament starting. The Dungeon Diver event only starts tomorrow for the Fusion. So keep that in mind, guys. Make sure you are not farming the Fire Knight today to double dip the points, and same with the champion training to triple dip your points. Good luck on Vulcanos if you are summoning. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What do you think about the HeMan and Skeletor? Are you excited for this? I'll be honest, it's such an old show that I can barely remember watching it. Okay, it's just crazy. But either way, that was all for the video. Much love, appreciate all of you guys watching, and keep an eye for the next video where we are going to try the HeMan. Peace.